Alexis Morgan here with Mike Wallace. The Grizzlies lost to the Nets 98-88. Another loss here, Mike. What have you got to say?
Loss after 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 loss. And then, you're talking about home losses now. The losing streak overall is the longest since 2009. The home court losing streak now is the longest since 2009, 2010. It's to a point now where this has to stop. And the game against the Nets on Sunday was a game where it should have stopped. This isn't about talent anymore. This is about effort. These are the Nets. The Nets, and that's no disrespect to the Brooklyn Nets. But again, this isn't Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin's Nets. This isn't Vince Carter's Nets. This isn't even Jeremy Lin and D'Angelo Russell's Nets. Right. This isn't even Jay-Z's Nets anymore. Jay-Z doesn't own this team anymore. You have the roster right here. I couldn't even name you 5 Nets, and I got the paper right here to do so. Bottom line is that you were supposed to end this losing streak right here on your home court in the month of November on a winning note, on a positive note. Instead, you suffer a demoralizing loss, and now you've gone winless in the whole month of November for at least the second time in franchise history. So it's a bad spot right now for these Grizzlies. We talked about this and talked about it. Now it gets tougher. Now December comes, and the gauntlet is here now.
Well, one of the bright spots for the Grizzlies in the first half was Chandler. He had 12 points in the first half, but then he went down. Can you tell us a little bit more about that injury?
I did see Chandler after the game walking around in the locker room. He did, he seemed mobile. He was able to get around. It was just a situation where I'm told that, his right knee, he had some inflammation in there, and he just couldn't give it a go. He was trying to come out and play in the second half of that game. He didn't come out and play in the second half at all. Coach David Fizdale said after the loss to the Nets that Chandler will be reevaluated, on Monday, and we'll see where he is earlier in the week in terms of what he can do. But again, this is Chandler Parsons, and when you mention Chandler Parsons and you talk about knees, right, people get a little skittish because he has a history of knee issues. This one doesn't seem to be serious initially, but we'll see as the reevaluations take place in the next couple days.
Okay, and how do we go up from here?
Well, we go up from here. First things first. David Fizdale has had to address why Marc Gasol didn't play in the fourth quarter. Marc Gasol has had to address why he didn't get back in the game in the fourth quarter. Now, to all fairness, Mario Chalmers didn't play in the fourth quarter, nor did Dillon Brooks. So David Fizdale found a unit in the fourth quarter that he felt like he needed to give a shot. That starting unit didn't play well at all in the third quarter. They were obliterated in the third quarter with Mark, with Rio, with Dillon and those guys on the floor. Now, Chandler wasn't there. But the bottom line is that there's some issues right now that this team needs to get through in terms of communication, in terms of connection, in terms of explaining what's going on. Because right now you're sending ulterior motives back and forth by playing time and no playing time. Mark is a little bit upset. He said he took it personally. David Fizdale said, well, is this something that they need to discuss? They will discuss it. But again, if the Grizzlies are going to get back on track, you're going to need Marc Gasol out there leading these guys until Mike Conley gets back ready. But again, as I said, San Antonio, Cleveland, Minnesota, those are your next 4 games. The competition doesn't get any easier.
Thank you guys so much for continuing to stay on Grizzlies.com.
Hey, hold up. Before we go, I got to give, on a brighter note, let's give Alexis a shout-out because she did win the college football pick'em panel. She went 7-3, was the only one on the panel to pick Auburn to knock off Alabama. So, hey, we can end the month on a positive note at home on this home court. Shout out to Alexis.
At least we're getting wins somewhere. All right. Thanks so much.